Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Cool People During COVID.
Mhm.
And I'm really happy to have Sommer Janssen with us today. Yay!
Yay.
So,
Hi.
Summer is so fun. You hired me about 7 years ago or so, maybe longer, to be your auctioneer for your company. Was a company Christmas party or something like that, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've stayed in touch since then on Facebook. Really, this is the first time we've actually talked in real time since then. But she always posts up really positive stuff on Facebook, and so that's great. She likes the stuff I post. I like what she posts, and especially now more than ever, I'm really looking out for people who have just great attitudes and sharing them with everyone else. How are you keeping such a great attitude, especially now when things are so difficult?
I think that the biggest thing for me has been staying present, and that's not always an easy thing to do. Especially when COVID hit in March, I was working with a company where we actually had to lay a lot of people off, and that's not fun when you're keeping your job and you're telling other people this is what we have to do and trying to get them to understand.
Right,
Uh,
because you work in human resources, right?
Yeah, I do.
Uh-huh.
Across different industries, but this was for a hotel.
Hmm.
And I found myself, I'm not going to lie, I found myself pretty down after that. So
Oh my
I had to,
gosh.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you hire all these people and then you have to turn around and say, trust me, we're going to bring you back. And you don't
Yeah.
have any real deadline of when that's going to happen. Um,
Mm.
so for me, I had to find something to pull myself through also. And that turned out to be workouts. And
Wow.
yeah, exercise.
Right. Now, some people might want to know the one that you're doing, and we want to emphasize that there's lots of stuff out there. I've actually been doing high intensity workouts. I
Oh,
started
nice.
doing those, and I found them for beginning level. Now I'm at the second level, but I'm really enjoying it. And I just found some free on YouTube that I do. So you
Oh,
can
nice.
just do something, right?
Yeah, you're braver than me doing high intensity. I get overwhelmed with that.
Oh, well,
Good job.
I like the idea that I get them over with quickly. That's the kind of thing that I like. In 20 minutes, I'm done. So that's,
Mm.
I do it out of laziness, just a just a short period of, yeah.
Whatever
So
it takes to motivate you.
whatever it takes. So, but anybody can do it. I mean, I wasn't
Yeah.
a great athlete. I wasn't, I barely lettered. I lettered in cross country only because somebody got hurt on the last meet
Oh,
of the year. So I got to take their place. But
yeah.
yeah, not. But just stay active and get out there, and it'll make yourself feel better. Well, what can you tell our friends to encourage them during this tough time?
Well, if I had to give some pointers on something to make it tangible for people, that's easy. I would say there's three things that have kept me going. One is making sure that you reach out to your community because you see all those hashtags that are like alone together, and I think that that's really true. You have to have a good foundation, and
Yeah.
whether that's like your family or your friends or just people who reach out to ask you like how are you doing, I would say fall into that, and let your community build you back up because there are a lot of people right now that are going through the same thing and you don't realize it. But when you start talking to them, you're like, oh, you don't feel good today either. Oh, you need to pick me up. Oh, you need somebody to check on you and see that you're sad. Um, I think the pandemic has brought out some of the worst in people, because
Yes.
we have to sit at home and deal with ourselves.
Right, right. None of us are at our best. And Summer, I really like that you brought that up because, even though I see you on Facebook all the time, people see me on Facebook, I'm putting my best foot forward. And a lot of times I don't feel like it,
Yeah.
but what's the option really? Just to wallow in pity all day long, or just to act yourself. I tell it over and over again. You act yourself into a feeling. Don't wait till you feel like it. Just go ahead and fake it till you make it, whatever it is. But just do it, doggone it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, there were moments, my mother was watching me work out at some point, and there were moments where she's like, I've never seen you so distraught because it was a lot of things factoring in, personal
Mhm.
things in my life that I had to pull through. And there's no other option. It's like we get to keep being strong.
Mm.
There were moments when I laid in the floor after a set of exercises and I was sobbing and I was like, okay, is this physical exhaustion and overwhelm or is this emotional? And a lot of times it was both because
Oh my
I was
gosh.
physically exhausted, but I had to kind of let that stuff come out. And the more I did that, the stronger I got, the more motivated I got. And it was almost like piecing things together one at a time. Like one step takes you to the next one and allows you to be motivated. And that's where I found my motivation was in sticking with the program, having a set program to follow, the workouts, building up my community, and being focused on being present in the now.
Right. And really, how painful would it be if you didn't do it? If you just said every day, like, hey, well, I should start a workout program. Then that day passes, then there's tomorrow, and you never do it. And so you have all that hanging over your head. But you doing it makes you feel good and have something to look forward to. Now, you mentioned that part of it. What are some other the things that are keeping you positive during that, or some advice you can share?
If you really focus on the moment that you're in right now, you'll realize that you have no problem in this current moment, right? Because future thinking brings anxiety sometimes because you're worried about what could happen, but that reality doesn't exist. And if
Right.
you look at the past, it's already happened. There's not much you can do about it. So really, I know people say this, that, being in the moment, being present, but that really has pulled me through, because when my brain starts to freak out, I stop and I go, okay, let me see in this moment, let me do a check-in with myself, deep breaths. And I really try to feel all the parts of my body to say, how do I feel, and where is any kind of suffering I have coming from, like which part. And when I do that, I realize that it's an emotional issue or something I'm worried about. And in this moment, there's no issue.
Oh, that's rich. Uh, I've heard about that concept about the moment, and it really takes some effort on my part to use that line of thinking. But sometimes when I'm really stressed out in a situation that's really taxing on me, I think about, well, even with my high intensity workouts, for instance, it's really hard at that time, but in 20 minutes it's going to be over. So I think about that with a lot of the stressful things that I'm going through. This is not forever. For instance, COVID is not going to be forever. This sucks now, but it's not going to be forever, and it'll be something that we look back and say, hey, we made it through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it's not
agree.
fun. It's not going to mean it is fun, but it
Yeah.
will come out. We really can come out better. A lot of good things have happened during difficult times. Yes.
Oh, I agree with that
Mhm.
100%. And I also, to your point, I try to look back at that and look in my life and see past examples of something that I've come through. And okay, so it's like I describe it like a movie, right? Where
Mm.
you know that in the end the heroine or the hero is there at the end. So when you go through the scary moments where
Mm.
there's high intensity and you're like, oh no, are they gonna, perish or whatever? And you look at the end and you're like, oh, they make it to the end. So I kind
Mm.
of try to look at my life like that, not like a
Yeah.
movie necessarily, but in moments where I remember being panicked about things and thinking, how am I ever going to get through this? And I get to the end and I'm like, oh, I survived it because I'm here
Yeah.
now. So I
Yes.
look back and I say, I was strong, and this is just going to make me stronger, and our country and our world as well. I mean,
Mm.
we went through this with what, H1N1 and
Right.
all other number of things, and we're all the ones who are still standing. We're still here.
That's the thing. You think about that word through. All of us have been through a lot, and everybody watching, we're still here. We've been through a lot, and we'll get through this too.
Yeah.
Any parting? How can people stay in touch with you and be encouraged by you in social media land?
So I have an Instagram page that people can follow me on, and I'll send the link so you can pop it up there.
I'll
But
put it
it's
down there. Yes,
okay,
it'll
perfect.
be.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I did some life coaching at some point and for myself as well. And part of that certification process was to be the coach to yourself. And so I still work on that and I still help people with that. And my page is Awaken Now with Sommer Janssen. Awaken Now with Sommer Janssen.
I like that you're really transparent when you post. You are, you really put it out there. You keep it real, and
Yeah.
that's another reason I wanted to have you on here.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. I try to, because here's the thing. A lot of people, I read an article recently and it was talking about social media, and it said it's amazing how influenced we are by our social media feed. And a lot of people have what you probably have heard of, FOMO, fear of missing out.
Hmm.
And I hear people saying, well, I'm going to take a break from social media because it makes them feel anxious because they see all this positive stuff about people and how wonderful they're doing. And I have people say to me often, you know, you look like you're just living your best life. And that's true. That's what I try to put forward. But I also try to put pictures of me when I'm not wearing makeup, or I've got my hair in a bun and I'm just working out and I'm, suffering through the physical pain of workouts.
Uh-huh.
And I try to just keep that real, because I feel like that's a more realistic version and people can relate to that, because we all have moments where we're down and we all have moments that are not perfect. But I think that that's part of the beauty of being human, and that's what makes us amazing creatures.
Well, you know what? It takes a lot to do that, though, to put yourself out there like that, because there's also a fear of rejection. Hey, they won't like me if they see me in a different way.
Yeah,
So good on you. I mean, so all of you out there listening and watching, remember that we love you no matter what.
that's
Yes,
right. We do.
yes, heck yeah. Eh, okay, so any final words before we go?
I think I would just tell people, I would reiterate what you mentioned earlier. Don't give up. We're going to get through this, and there's going to be some beautiful things that are coming out of it. Change isn't easy for anybody, but we will get through it. And I think we'll be better off, in the long run. So hang in there.
Hang in there, friends. Hang in there.
Yeah.
Friends, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you got to meet Sommer. Isn't she awesome? She's so cool. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, friends. Until we meet again, everyone, be cool.
Be cool. Bye.